Hey there everybody, this is Patrick from Lost in Games, and today we are starting up a new segment called the Kickstarter Spotlight, in which I highlight various role-playing, board game, and wargaming titles that are currently active on Kickstarter or will be in the very near future. The goal of this is to review titles right now that I am interested in, because quite frankly there are so many active titles at any given time out there. I don't have the time to do a segment of that length or depth, and I'm sure you don't want to sit through it either. So let's get started and talk about the Kickstarters I am the most interested in right now. The first Kickstarter title we are going to look at is the Lords of Vegas Underworld and Boss Bundle. So Lords of Vegas is a family favorite. The entire family will sit down and duke it out in Las Vegas. It's a city building Euro game in which players are playing budding casino bosses who are fighting to take over Las Vegas. And when I say fighting, I don't mean with machine guns. I mean by expansion and mostly legal methods. You can build, you can remodel, you can reorganize, you can sprawl your casinos along the strip, and when you're not building or taking over rival casinos, you can find yourself sitting in an opponent's casino and gambling and stealing money directly from their pocket. This new expansion looks like it comes with a new Underworld board and 50 new cards. The new cards are going to give you a new action called Acquire, which allows you to spend money to buy Underworld cards. Some of these cards are going to give you points, others are going to give you money, and yet others provide powers that you can use to alter your gameplay like making sprawling easier, while another may give you opportunities to gamble, etc. So this Kickstarter is nearing its end, so make sure you go out there and grab that if you're a big fan of Lords of Vegas. The second Kickstarter we're going to look at in the board game category is Pulp Invasion. Adventures in outer space and beyond. Save the universe and find the unknown super weapons before the alien invasion. I'm a big fan of the Pulp science fiction, and so this is an exciting looking card game designed by Todd Sanders. It looks like it's a lighter, faster game for 1 to 2 players. It is being released not just with the core game, but with an immediate expansion as well. So if you like Pulp, if you like fast card games, go check this one out as well. The third game we're going to take a look at is Rise of Tribes, Beasts and Bronze. So episode 3 of Lost in Games, I reviewed Rise of Tribes. This Kickstarter is also ending soon. So if you saw that video or you have that game and you really want this expansion, you should jump out there really quick. With this expansion, there's going to be new ways to win. There's Bronze Age technologies. There's some new beasts that you can kind of hurl at your enemy tribes. There's new events. 3 new unique hex tiles. Solo rules. You can face off against an AI warlord threatening your lands. It looks like there's a lot of really good stuff here. So aside from the expansion, if you only have a copy of the retail edition that has mostly those cardboard counters inside, they are releasing, or maybe they have released, I'm not entirely sure, the new Mammoth edition of Rise of Tribes, and that has all of the wooden meeples and things that you would see like in the Kickstarter version of the game. So, Rise of Tribes, an exciting time. Head there and check it out. So let's move into war games. The first war game we're going to take a look at is Dawn's Early Light by Compass Games. This is a 2-player card-driven strategy game that's based on the War of 1812. It is rated with a complexity of 4 out of 10, at playtime of about 2 to 3 hours, and it has a solitaire rating of 5 out of 10, which I would expect from a card game. The map, which we're going to pull up here so that you can see, is absolutely beautiful. If you know me, you know that I love the maps and the game boards, so they did a fantastic job on it. It's recommended for ages 14 and above. Go check that out right now if you're interested in the War of 1812 and want a nice card-driven strategy game. The next war game we're going to take a look at is Old School Tactical Volume 2. Okay, so Old School Tactical came out on Kickstarter and covered the Eastern Front, had its Stalingrad expansion, etc. And then they came out with Volume 2, which covered the Western Front, and they just finished fulfilling a very successful Kickstarter for Volume 3, which is Old School Tactical in the Pacific. So apparently they have run out, or are very close to running out, of Old School Tactical Volume 2. And I know that I have been waiting and trying to get a copy of the Airborne expansion, and it is more difficult to find. So they have put both of these out there for you to pick up on Kickstarter. So I myself have already backed this for the Airborne expansion. Old School Tactical games are beautiful games, very large maps, very large counters. They're just very well done, beautiful games. So go check that out if you're interested in getting a brand new copy of these games. The third war game we're going to take a look at is Stalingrad Solitaire, which is, right, a solitaire board game of the Battle of Stalingrad, in which you are playing General Paulus, the 6th Army's commander, and all of the activities of your AI opponent, Soviet Commander Zhukov, are controlled by the game rules. And so you have to do your best to save the trapped army in the cauldron, while at the same time cooperating with high command to preserve the integrity of the entire of the southern front of Russia. So Canvas Temple Publishing has been putting out titles for the last couple of years. I did back their World War II European Theater, which was a remake of 2WW, the Second World War. And I also have picked up their Blitzkrieg in the West game. I've been happy with both of those games, so I think this is going to be a nice addition. I know right now, as of the time of recording this, this game is going to be a Ziploc game, but I do know that if it reaches its funding goal, it will be a boxed game. So Stalingrad Solitaire, go check this one out. It's got a 22 by 17 inch map, and it shows the Stalingrad pocket, and looks like a really fun solitaire game. So let's move on to role-playing games. The first role-playing game I want to take a look at is Torchbearer, the 2nd edition. Now, I didn't play the 1st edition. Torchbearer is a role-playing game based on the Burning Wheel system, but it has it really honestly has an OSR look and feel. I've heard the game is crunchy, but not complex, and they've clarified, they've revised, they've refined, and expanded the rules from several years of playtesting and feedback into a 2nd edition with 3 glorious books. So the first book is a Dungeoneer's Handbook, which is 275 pages, has a new class in it, new memorization system for arcane magic, new divine magic system. There's now 10 levels for all of the classes, so a lot of refinements in there. The second book is a Scholar's Guide to Dangers, Various, and Sundry. It's 332 pages, and the third book is a Lore Master's Manual, which is 200 pages, and it's just kind of chock full of optional rules, ideas, things that wouldn't fit into the first 500 pages they put here. New classes, new monsters, new spells, etc. So I haven't played this game, but this seems like it's the perfect entry point for this. So I think this is worth checking out if you're remotely interested in Torchbearer. Now would be the time to enter. The second role-playing game I want to focus in on is Technocracy Reloaded, which is part of the Mage 20th Anniversary line. So Technocracy, can't say that 10 times fast, Technocracy Reloaded peels back the curtain and basically lets you look at the technocracy in the Mage the Ascension setting. In the very early days of Mage the Ascension, the technocracy was the bad guys that were hunting down all of the mages, but as time went on, White Wolf began to promote them as a legitimate faction in the Ascension War with just as legitimate goals and aspirations, and kind of removed that single-sided, easy baddie to make it a more complex component, or maybe even a more complex foe for the Ascension War. So this book, recently, and when I say recently, a few years ago, they re-released Onyx Path, re-released Mage, the 20th anniversary, which is a gigantic, beautiful book. We'll take a look at that at some point when I do a review. I've purchased some of the other M20 books that have come out in support of Mage the Ascension, and they've all been very well done. So I am looking forward to this title as well to come out. So if you're interested in Mage 20, if you're interested in the Technocracy, you're interested in kind of an update to them, go check out this game. The last game that I'm going to take a peek at, role-playing game I'm going to take a peek at here, is Aegis of Empires, the Adventure Path. It's for 5e, Pathfinder 1 and 2e. It's by Legendary Games. So Legendary Games, they're a good game company. I've bought several of their products over the year. I am currently backing, I'm waiting for their Kingdoms Kickstarter to come in. This one is a truly epic saga. It's been released already, but they're putting it all into one massive book. It's set in Frog God Games' The Lost Lands setting, which even as we speak is shipping to my house. So I'm really excited about that book, and this is a full adventure path for that setting. So if you're a fan of The Lost Lands, if you're a fan of Legendary Games, if you're a fan of Adventure Pass, I think it is worth checking this bad boy out. It is a 6-part adventure path, 600 pages of material for 3 of the biggest fantasy role-playing games out there right now. And also, it is The Lost Lands. So check it out. I really like Legendary Games. I remember a couple of years ago, I missed a Kickstarter deadline because my father had passed away, and Legendary Games sent me a complimentary PDF. I was very grateful for that. They're a class act. So please go out there and back this product. Okay. So there you have it. That was the Kickstarter Spotlight for May 2020. We will be back in a few weeks and highlight another batch of Kickstarters that I am interested in. If there are Kickstarters that you're interested in or you would like me to spotlight, maybe you're a backer, maybe you are a creator, please reach out to me at one of the links below and I will see what I can do. Thank you, have a good day, and don't forget to get lost in games.